Let's talk moms on call with regards to breastfeeding, pumping, getting your supply up and running. And side note, I am sharing this all from my experience. I'm not an expert, just a mom who has been exclusively breastfeeding for the last almost 5 months. So, bit of context, we started the moms on call approach when my son was 3 weeks old because he was born a little bit early. I wanted to give him a week more before starting it, if you see what I mean. But since then, we've been on that schedule in terms of like sleeping, feeding, all that jazz as much as possible. What I will say is that there's 3 ways that parents manage schedules. Either you're very strict and you stick to it to the T, either you have no schedule at all, or either you do something in between. She ended up going, I would say, kind of like a hybrid model where we tried to stick to the routine as much as possible, but we did allow for some flex. Now, that said, the way that the Moms on Call approach works is that I think for the first 8 weeks, you are feeding your baby every like 2 to 3 hours, and I think that was built into the schedules. So during that time, I wasn't pumping. I know some people do want to pump because they're afraid that their supply will fall, but to be honest, I was kind of nervous about having an oversupply, and I didn't want to end up in a position where I would have to be pumping all the time or risk getting engorged or mastitis. So I was very much trying to follow his lead of what he needed to then inform establishing and sustaining my supply. So at that time, I was waking up to feed him during the night. Once we hit that 8-week mark from memory, that was when we were able to drop the midnight feedings with him, unless he woke me up to eat, which, to be honest, he was sleeping through the night from like 8 p.m. until 7 a.m. for a good chunk of time. So during that time, I wasn't waking up to feed him during the night, but I was still waking up to pump because I still wanted to establish my supply. So from 0 to 2 months, I was waking up to feed him, but from 2 months to about 3 to 4 months, I was waking up anyway in the middle of the night to pump, just to make sure that I wasn't seeing a kind of lag in my milk supply. This worked really nicely for me. I think I had this dream of having like a good stash of milk in my freezer, which actually ended up kind of being a good thing that didn't come to pass, because my milk, I think, is high in lipase, is what they say. And so once it's been frozen, it is not drinkable for him. He will not take it. I tried it myself. It tastes disgusting after it's been frozen. Someone gave me the tip of trying to give it to him without heating it up after being frozen. So I tried to just take some frozen milk and defrost it. It still tasted horrific compared to my fresh milk. So what we're doing now, because I also want to get him used to a bottle, because if ever, I need to go out and I need my husband to be able to feed him, I like to know that he can take the bottle. I didn't want him to reject a bottle at any point. So what we're doing now, and we've probably been doing this for the past month, I would say, maybe a month and a half, I will give him the bottle at 7:30, 7 o'clock-ish, with milk that I pumped the day before. And then once he goes to bed, I will do one last pump of the night at like 10 to 11 p.m. But I never freeze this milk because, as I said, once I freeze my milk, it no longer tastes good. He will no longer take it, so it has to be fresh. He's a bit bougie like that, what can I say? So that's kind of what we've been doing. I hope that helps. And let me know if you have any questions around like how I set up my supply, breastfeeding, managing the moms on call schedules, all that jazz. But as of right now, past that like 10, 11 p.m. pump that I do for like 20 to 30 minutes, I then don't pump in the middle of the night anymore, and I then wake up at like 7 o'clock to feed him and start the day of breastfeeding again. I hope that helps, but yeah, let me know if you have any questions.